Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Claudio Lazo, and I'm an editorial stylist and I'm not artistic director. I am a global top artist for Wella. I want to thank Modern Salon for having me here today. And today what I'm going to be sharing with you is a couple tips on beachy summer waves. What I've done, as you can see here, is I've done most of the head for you. I've done 3/4 of the head because I didn't really want to bore you of what's it's like watching paint dry to do sometimes these curls. But we've been seeing a lot of these curls all over the salon, all over Victoria's Secret, runways. We've been seeing it in Fashion Week. We see it everywhere. And one thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is what makes them so special. And what makes them special is the technique that you use to get them. So if you can see here, you can see that in this section here, what I've done is I've done a horizontal sectioning, and I've hit the iron or put the iron at the base right at the horizontal. And let me show you, and I'm going quickly into this because I want to get right into it. When you do a horizontal wave, it creates a pattern that gives you the spread and coverage through an area, as opposed to when you can see this one here that I've done a vertical. And when you do a vertical, what happens is it becomes elongated. So now that this is vertical, when I drop it down, it becomes long. See the difference between the long one and then the wide one? So this becomes a little bit more of an S wave. And these are just two. The second part I want to bring up is how you distribute it. Sometimes we do one curl on and one curl off. And let me show you. Let me get right to it. Today, when clients are coming into the salon, they really want to get a lot out of their service. And in our salon, what we try to do is optimize the style by adding things to it, like whether you do a ponytail, a high ponytail, a knot, a space knot, or braiding. And I incorporate everything. And today in my clientele, honestly, they all want something different. But see how I'm doing these curls? One forward and one back.
Claudio, you have a couple hellos. You have a hello from Tanya and from Marie Pear in Quebec.
Oh, nice. Thank you for joining us. I'm actually going to turn her this way because you can work better and you can see a little bit better. So I'm taking these sections. And, thanks for joining us from Quebec. And, I want to talk a little bit about weather. What I've done to prep her, weather like Quebec, New York, Europe, it's slightly different temperature and a slightly different environment. So you're using different types of products. And the products that I'm using today are Sugar Lift, Ocean Spritz, and Dry Me. These are products that I'm using to create this feel. I've prepped her with Sugar Lift, dried it all the way through. I flat dried it so you can see how I'm starting. And then created a little bit of texture using the Ocean Spritz. And the reason why I use both of them combined together is because one gives you shine and the other one gives you a matte look to it, just like the ocean does. When you think of beach and you think of the windblown look, you're getting two different types of texture out of it. You're getting some that's clumping together, and that's where Sugar Lift comes in. And then you get the salt that binds it together. And that gives you that really cool look to it. So I'm going to finish this up, and the real magic's going to start when we are setting it.
Claudio,
yes, please.
You have some more hellos here, one all the way from Scotland. And some more hellos from Daisy, Paulina, Zoe, Maureen. The hellos are really flooding in. Donna, Despoina.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the love, and thanks again for joining us. You're live here with Facebook, with Modern Salon, and we're working on summer looks, beachy wave, space knots, and a little bit of a knot technique that I'm going to do to create a crown. So you just tuned in just in time. What I was talking about before was this sectioning of how I do my curl. How I do my curl is I use vertical sections, I use diagonal sections, and I use horizontal sections. This top horizontal section that I'm using, and I usually use that only on the top, is to get me the most coverage. Because a horizontal section, just like cutting hair, if you think about that, is more of a stable line. And that stability and that width is going to cover more area. Watch what happens here.
Claudio, folks are loving this beachy wave look. Can you tell us a little bit about the giveaway we'll be doing and why they should be asking some questions?
Well, we are going to be giving away some EIMI Ocean Spritz. We're also going to be giving away Sugar Lift and Dry Me for you guys to try this out. And if you're really lucky, you might get one of her locks. I'm just kidding. You're not getting her. No locks. Okay, so I have finished the shape. And you can see, I want to reiterate. Lean back a little bit, darling. How that movement, and see the shine? You're getting shine from the iron no matter what. This is beautiful wand that I'm using for GHD. I love this wand because it creates an irregular look to it. If you use an iron, it's going to create a circle and it's going to create a round wave. If you use a flat iron, it's going to create more of a flat wave. When you use a wand, it's going to create a in between those two to give you valleys, highs, and lows of your curl. So let me spin her around for you. All right, so now that we have it, let me take a peek at the monitor here to see what we have. Yeah, so we have plenty of curl, look at that. So now, to finish this, what I'm going to do is use the Dry Me right at the base to create a little bit more of that texture. And loosen it up with your hands first. Before you take any tool, loosen it up. Rochelle, do we have any questions?
We do. We have a question here from Adam. We love how you're spraying the Dry Me in the crown. Adam wants to know, do you suggest any back combing or volume around the crown or on the top of the head?
Adam, that's a great question. I'm going to answer it in two parts. Yes, I love using teasing, but only in specific areas. It all depends on the look that you're looking for. If you want something that's more natural, you don't want to tease anything. If you're doing an editorial shoot, which I do a ton of, then what you want to do is you want to set the base. So what you do is you can take a section, and I usually do it right underneath that top part, take a section and tease just the base, and then curl it. And that gives you that little bit of bounce at the base in order for that shape to stand out. And that is especially great when your hair is fine. That was a good one. Lean back for me. So I really wanted to get a lot of wave in here because of the other styles I'm going to do. So watch, turn around again. Shake it out for me a little bit. Yeah. See how natural that's looking? It's looking super natural. And everything's popping. Those ends are a little straighter. And you can see that that color and that curl is just magnifying. Okay. So this is really how I work my beach waves.
Claudio, her color looks phenomenal. Can you tell us a little bit about how you prepped her color for today?
Well, her color was done for another job. She's this is Heidi, by the way, and Heidi works a lot. So she had another job, and they did this beautiful red tone that, for Wella. And all I've done today to refresh it is I used Color Fresh 9-stroke 3. And that gives it just a beautiful finish and gloss to any color. It's sort of like an in-between color job that clients can do at home, or they can have the service in the salon. I'm really excited to get this going. So I'm spraying it a little bit, but not much, because if you prep it, when you prep the hair right, you don't really need a lot of hairspray. The hairspray should be a detail. We've prepped it really well. And so now I'm just separating. and creating those waves. I want to create a little bit more volume here, and now I'm taking it slightly from almost like a slept-in feel. What I'm going to do is take a little bit of Ocean Spritz into my hand. It goes on a little wet. Notice how it goes on a little wet? Mm-hmm. And Heidi, you can do this at home. You put a little bit in your hands like this. Mm-hmm. Wherever your part is, shimmy it. It's a really technical technique, but you shimmy it. And then you create that frothy texture. See how it sort of started taking a slightly different look to it? And cool. And there you are. There are your beachy waves. Looks good, right? Now, here's what happens with my clientele. Typical is that we love it, I love it, and then I want to talk them into something else right away. Because, yes, this is beautiful and she can walk away and it's great, but what if she wants something different? What we can do is super easy, super simple. I'm going to create some knots. So, you can do this leaving the hairline out. I'm taking a diagonal section. Does anyone know why I want to take a diagonal section? I'll tell you, because diagonal sections make the eye travel. If you want to take your eye and move it to a different pattern, you use a diagonal line. Because it's slightly, you notice how it's slightly off center? I did that to trick you. Because if it was split center, then you see all the flaws on either side. If it's slightly off center, what happens is you shift the eye from moving and it moves the direction you want it to. So as hairdressers, we need to dictate where we want the eye to go. In this case, I've done a diagonal section. This chair is very difficult to move, so I'm going to show you that pattern. And this can be done just with your fingers. It doesn't have to be perfect. I did the diagonal with a comb just to share with you that line. Now I'm going to take my smoothing brush. Jackie, will you get that stuff ready for me? I don't have my arms long enough, so it's kind of weird to get out of frame. So I'm just going to do it this way. So you don't have to be super neat here. And now, look at what I'm doing. I'm going to create a ponytail. Now, can I have that rubber band? Do I want the ponytail to be slightly more to the recession? In other words, on the round of the head? Or do I want it, sorry, little technical difficulty there. Or do I want it to sit more on top? That's up to you. This one, I'm doing it slightly off center so I can move the line slightly different. So I'm making one ponytail here. Let's take another diagonal back. Now we're seeing a lot of these knots, but to be quite honest with you, clients are loving these knots. But take a different spin on it. You don't have to necessarily just do a top bun. You can do this as one knot, you can do this as two, or you can do this into Bentu knots, which create a whole different look to it. Let me just pull a little bit more. So you guys, don't forget that we do have a giveaway today, so ask questions so Wella can mail you out some products for you guys to play with. Perfect. And I made one. I never really do even. I made one slightly smaller than the other one. Again, the reason why I do that is because I don't want things that are obvious. I want things that are a little bit off kilter to show you shape. So once I have the rubber bands in, you can see what I've done. The second step is super cool. What I've done here is I've taken regular elastic. This is regular elastic, and I've sort of tie-dyed it with Color Fresh Create. And I've toned it in tones. You like that?
Yes,
You haven't seen this one,
that's
huh?
amazing.
Oh, you're so cute. So what I'm going to do is tie it. So I'm going to make a knot.
Claudio, we have a question.
Yeah.
What's the best way to plump up fine hair for upstyling?
It's a great question. I'll tell you how we do it. You know, we underutilize the products that we have. If I have somebody with fine hair and I want to get this look, I take extra volume mousse, let's say, blow dry the hair, dry it completely dry, and then as it's 100% dry, then I reapply the extra volume mousse all the way through again and dry again. And so I get a double dry, and I change the fabric from silk to slightly more burlap. So remember, if your hair is feeling silky, then change the fabric. And in order to change fabric, you can use sugar lift, you can use extra volume mousse, things like that to create that texture. See how I'm winding it? And now as I get to the end, I'm just going to wrap around and create a knot, if I can get to it. Oh, I'm having trouble here. Hold on. Let me back up a little bit. There we go. I did it. So just tie it like that. And now what I'm doing, why did I put this in? For adornment, and because it controls that area, then now I can pull pieces out. Do you see that? I can pull pieces out. Heidi, you're so cute. You're agreeing with everything I'm saying. You can pull things out and create this super cool textural feel to it. And wait, I'm going to use a little bit of sugar lift to create that ultimate feel. I need a little bit of sugar lift. So again, I'm going to spread a little bit of sugar lift in my hands, run it through, and then pull some more. And pull away. Pull as much as you want all the way through. And my next one's going to be super cool because it's a knot. Now, I buy a lot of accessories for my clients at the salon, whether they're crowns, hairpins, my make stuff, because I want the clientele to take something home from me. Rochelle, do we have a question?
We do have a couple questions. Is Sugar Lift like a dry texture spray? And what is Sugar Lift?
Well, Sugar Lift is a styling spray that you can blow dry from wet to dry, or you can use it the way I'm doing it, just as a finisher. What it does, it has sugar that creates shine and body to the hair, and it's a level hold of 3. So it's a medium plus level. So I'm going to secure with 1 right now, just to get it out of the way. And then we're going to play with it. Can I have that string? Thank you. And so the difference is, think about it this way. When you're dealing with, think of sugar. It has shine to it when it's wet. When you think of salt, it has a matte color to it when it's wet. And that's what these products are exactly like. So if you think of sugar and salt, they're 2 different types of looks. And so look how I'm wrapping around. Super easy. Am I out of frame? Nope. Mark, is there a question? And then here, I'm going to go right in and tie it. I don't know why I'm having a very difficult time tying these, and these are usually super easy. But if you're having trouble with something like that, here's another solution. Can I have another rubber band? White one? Thank you. Just throw another rubber band on top of it. That makes it super easy, and then you don't have to deal with it. Again, pulling apart. And so when we think of summer, right, especially here in Los Angeles, we're in Los Angeles, it's very hot, and we're always doing half up, half down hair. And that's become a trend. It's a huge trend here in Los Angeles to do this. We have a ton of festivals, and we do everything outside. So when you're looking for things to do, or when you're looking for hair that fits the culture of being outside, or your hair's unwashed or second day hair, these are the looks you want to do to create some texture.
Claudio, we have a question here from Yolani.
Yes.
Is it hard to brush out if I need to redo a style or a section?
No, it's not. And I will show you because I have to do my third look, and I have to take this out to do that. But what you do want to do is you want to add, you can come a little closer, that's fine. You do want to add some pins to this. And let's talk about grips for a minute. I added one grip here, another one here, and after I secure, now I'm going to go in and pull this out. I'm going to take a little sugar lift in my fingers and start pulling this out to create this texture. All the stuff that I do is really easy to take away, because one of the things that I do a lot of is Fashion Week, and you have to be able to disengage the shape quickly. The other one is I do a lot of photo shoots, and you have to disengage the shape quickly. So you notice that I've only used 4 pins, bobby pins, to secure this, and that's it. The rubber bands are helping me bind this. But let me share with you the difference of bobby pin to a hairpin. This is bobby pin. If you can come in a little tighter. This is the bobby pin. Where are you? There you go. Bobby pin, hairpin, or U-pin, bobby pin. And then a different type of U-pin, which is for setting. This is the type that I use, which I'm going to use on the next look to set the hair before I set it. Okay? So, as you can see right here, you can see that. I'm going to drop that because it's easier. You can see that one. You can see this one. I like that. It's like a little canvas. So now I'm going to just slightly finish with a little bit of spray.
Claudio, we have a couple more questions.
Sure.
Someone's wondering, what is EIMI? When you're talking about EIMI, what is EIMI referring to?
EIMI is a brand of styling products that Wella Professional has created for hairdressers. It is why I love EIMI is because it's a line that you can build on. The hold factor is light that you can build from one to the other. As you can see, I'm using Sugar Lift and Ocean Spritz, 2 opposites to create one look. But EIMI is a styling brand.
Thank you, Claudio. We have another question here from Suzanne. How do I sell this look in the salon? So what kind of girl would want this, and when would this style be worn?
Well, a style like this is for more that festival hair, that summer. If you're going to a festival, you're going to a music gig, you're doing things on the fly, a barbecue, swimming, the beach, anything like that to get some of your hair away from you. You know, and I love that. And if I wanted to separate it more and create more of a space between, just push them out of the way like that. And I actually like that better. So that's when you wear these shapes. You wear them normally, well, my clientele wears them normally the second day after they've done one style. They choose to do the second day or third day hair to be this style.
We have another question here. What spray are you using and what strength?
I'm using Stay Firm, but also by EIMI, which I'll show you here. And it's a level 3 hold. And now I'm going to push the hair away from her face. Can you lean back for me a little bit? And this is a trick that I like to use. I'm going to show you this right now. Let me have that blow dryer. What I'm doing there is taking hair away from her face first and then adding it back in. Okay? And there's that second look. Cool, right? What do you think, Heidi?
I love it.
All right. So now to move into the third look, let's pull these 4 pins out. I normally remember where everything's at. So we're going to pull all that out. I'm going to take my razor and just pop that off right here. See how it unravels super easy? I'm going to cut that knot right there. Heidi, I promise I'm not going to get your hair. There we go. Grab this one right here. Cut that. And the question of combing out, super easy. Because it's not really teasing that I did, it's more of a push. And now we are back to normal. See how simple that was? I don't know who asked that question, but Rochelle, do we have any other questions so far in this look?
You're getting a lot of adoration.
Thanks, you guys. But keep the questions coming because if they're related to hair, I'll answer it for you.
Anthony is wanting to know what type of cord are you wrapping? Is it elastic or basic colored cord?
Well, it is elastic, and I'll show you as soon as Anthony, let me just pull this out. It's elastic, as you can see, and it comes in white or black. And this is something I buy in spools for Fashion Week because this is how I tie my ponytails or do my Bentu knots or anything like that. In this case, it doesn't come in other colors, but what I've done is I tie-dyed it with Color Fresh Create. And that's how I got this funky color. You can use ribbon, you can use anything, but I like using this elastic because the elastic tends to bind and give. Perfect, thank you. And there we go. So the last look that I'm going to do is instead of using braids or creating a crown with braids, I'm going to create a crown with knots. But I want to show you a different version of the beach wave right now because I'm just looking at the back of it, how nice that looks when it's brushed out. Lean back a little bit. Yeah, see? You can see those beautiful beach waves all the way through that create just a soft look. And the more they're brushed out, the softer they feel. Okay, so now we're getting into our last look, and I'm going for this one, use a little bit of Dry Me. How many of you have used Dry Me before? Please let me know the best way you've used it, because I love this product.
Hi, Claudio. You have a question here from Tori. I know this doesn't pertain to what you are doing now, but can you use Color Fresh Create to tone? So a little bit of an offside question, but wanting to know about Color Fresh Create for
tone?
toning.
Well, you can. I mean, if you're doing this, maybe the silvers or some of those pinks and soft toning to do things like that. A better way to tone would be to use Color Fresh, not Color Fresh Create. Those are two separate products, but really good.
Perfect. And someone wants to know about your comb. Is that a wooden comb? What type of combs do you like to use?
This is a plastic comb. You can see what I'm using here. It's a plastic comb with a plastic tail. Is it the big one? The big one is just Wella makes one of these. This one I picked up at a supply house, but I like a wide tooth comb, and they come in many different shapes. Sometimes they have a handle and sometimes they don't. But typically you can pick this up in any beauty supply.
Carmelina would like to know if you set the hair with a wand.
I did, Carmelina. I set the hair with a wand using several techniques. I used a GHD wand, and I used a horizontal technique, I used a vertical technique, and I used a diagonal technique to get those curls. I just wanted to show you 3 different patterns to get one look. Okay, so check this out. This seems difficult, but it's super simple. I'm going to show you here. What I'm doing is I'm going to create a knot all the way through the top and leaving the bottom out. I'm taking a small section of hair, like a 1-inch section of hair. Look down for me a little bit. And I'm going to wrap my fingers around it on the back side. So underneath, not on top, underneath, and turn my fingers. Once I turn my fingers, I put that piece inside. Then I grab another section and put it inside that finger and keep working the knot. And you just keep repeating over and over until you've created some real estate. How many of you have tried this knot? It's a little different than a braid, and this is why I chose it today, because I wanted to choose something slightly more interesting, because, you see a lot of stuff in modern salon, and they're giving you a lot of education, but look how cool this top knot is. This is stuff that I use again at the runway, because it's simple, it's fast, and you can get through 20 to 30 models doing something like this. That was my GHD iron that's turning off, which is great for safety. Okay, I like it. I like it so far. Any questions on this knot so far? I know. Once you learn the technique, and I want you to watch this over and over again, once you learn this technique, you're going to be obsessed. And every client, I don't care what they're getting, they're going to get this knot. Because you're going to be so fascinated. This hasn't been probably more than 4 minutes that I've been working. Look how fast this is. And pick sections at random. You notice that I'm not being really clean. I'm picking my sections randomly in order to create this look. So I'm going to stop right here. And then I'm going to work all the way through. Right, and then I'm just going to hold this with a clip right here. All right, can you guys see that? See how simple that is all the way through? We've created a beautiful knot. Afterwards, I'm going to be stretching it out a little bit after I do the other one. I'm going to stretch it out and create the shape. I also like to leave hairlines out, randomly to leave that hairline out. Okay, so I'm going to start again. I'm going to start from this side. And tuck in and grab.
Claudio, we have a request here from Lucy. Can you maybe go a little bit slower on this side?
Yes.
For the viewers. Thank you.
So I'm going from the underneath, Lucy, wrapping my fingers around. And as I wrap around, I'm bringing it in between my fingers. Tell me everybody got that one. There you go. So I moved my thumb so you can't see it. Did you see it? There you go. So now the next section, look, that's one section. The next section is I grab a piece of hair, put it between my fingers, take the knot and pull that section through. Once I pull that section through, I run my fingers through it again and grab the tail. Then I grab another section. Sorry, I keep putting the thumb in the way. Running it through. See that? Right? We're following me so far? And see how it's not. You're following me so far? So now I'm taking another section into a diagonal. Right? I'm following a diagonal all the way down and then grabbing. All the way down and grabbing. I know my thumb's in the way, but I'll show you in a different area so you can see. So now I'm grabbing another section and grabbing. Did you get that yet? And if some of these pieces fall out, it's no big deal because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for an organic feel to this. Remember, this is hair for summer. This is hair for festivals. This is hair for picnics. This is hair for, garden to go, travel and go to the beach, all that stuff, whatever you're doing in summer.
You have two questions here. One from Salinas. Are you twisting when going back in? And one from Melissa. Is he pulling it in the entire way through?
Yes, I'm pulling it all the way through and I'm not twisting it. What I'm doing, think of it like a French braid. That every time that you're taking a section, you're pulling through, right? This is my French braid section to move me to the next level so the braid stays intact. If I wasn't intact, or if my braid was like one braid, which I'll show you, I will show you a couple of other times so you can see. I'm sorry. Now you pull through. See, there's the knot. And now I have to hold on to this somehow, so I'm going to put my fingers through it. And then this is the tail, and I'm bringing that tail back down. I promise I will show this one more time. And I'll make it super simple for you. Okay, now we're done with that. And now, since I don't want to grab any more hair like a French braid, I just keep knotting all the way through. Knot, all the way through, knot, all the way through. And see the knot? I'm just knotting the hair. I'm literally knotting hair. So let's take those two sections now and put them there for right now. Since you guys are asking questions about how to, I'm going to show you in this section what's better, this section or this section? This section. I'll show you right here. What you want to do, let me get this way. It's okay, just like that. You're jumping from the underneath, grabbing the hair and twisting, bringing it through to a knot. After that, you're pulling that hair through the knot and you're holding it and bringing your fingers through the knot you just created. After that, you're repeating exactly the same thing. You can either pick up hair or you can do it just like this, all the way down. Does that make sense? And now you have a knot. Does that make sense? Perfect. So, and to unravel it, it's super easy. Except that you got a piece there. See the knot? I'm just unraveling the knot. So now to detail it. Now that I've done both sides, now I want to detail it. And to detail it, what I'm going to do is pull some of this through. But before I do that, I want to take a little bit of Dry Me and use it right on the base. And then you can do it two ways. You can pull from both sides, or you can pull from the top. And in this case, I'm pulling from the top only. All right, I'm going to pin it. More. Come closer. Perfect. Take the other side. I'm going to pin it. So I'm pinning it, scratching the surface, which is the scalp, and then working my way through. Now I'm going to take a little bit more detail.
Claudio, we have a question. How do you insert bobby pins to keep them from slipping?
I'll show you right now. You want to scratch the scalp. So what you're doing is I'm taking this, let's say if I want this to be pinned, I'm taking the bobby pin, going all the way through, scratching the scalp, coming back around, and pinning. Secured, and you use less bobby pins that way. If it's something that's really heavy, you want to cross it. You want to crisscross them. So now let's use a little bit of hairspray. Let's get that crown. And so, again, talking about accessories, I like to buy accessories for my clients and putting them on the head because they love buying these things from me when I create a look. So now talking about pinning, let me have these pins, or let me have some U-pins, the other type, the small ones. These ones, thank you. So I'm going to take some U-pins, these ones here like this, and I'm going to take some of this and hide that crown. See how I'm hiding that crown? And I'm going to take that and then hide a little of that crown because it's too obvious for me. So I want to make sure I hide that.
Claudio, we have a question from Lucy. Where do you get your inspiration from?
You know, Lucy, that's a great question. I find inspiration everywhere, but you know, a lot of movies, I like period pieces, I like fashion, and you know, think about, you know, I like stories. I like to be taken away from something else, and that's where I get my inspiration, and then I turn it into everyday hair, because hair doesn't have to be complicated. You know, there certainly doesn't have to be complicated to get these kind of looks. Can I get the camera just to pan back just a little bit so you can see? Yeah. See how cool that is? It's super simple. And then now I'm going to take a little, can I have some more pins? Thank you. See how this hair here is? Now I'm going to take a little of that hair and pin it inside to lift it. More pins, please. Just let them keep coming. See, now I'm lifting this area. See, I'm getting more texture as opposed to this side. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm lifting and tying all that together so it feels super natural and like worn and lived in. And I want these flowers to be poppy but not crazy. I don't want them everywhere. I don't want to see them everywhere, right? And pieces like this, you can either love it or you can tuck it in. It doesn't matter. I happen to love texture like that because I feel it gives you individuality. But if you don't like that, you just tuck it right in. But I like a little bit of that. I don't mind that at all. I think that creates a super organic feel to it. Now the last, can I have that blow dryer?
Claudio,
now, see this?
We have one more question.
Sure.
Can you recommend your favorite workable hairspray?
Stay Essential is my Stay Essential. There's Stay Firm and Stay Essential. Stay Essential is a working spray, which I love. And I love working this. But when I'm finishing, you can take this Stay Firm. And what I'm going to do, see this flyaway hair? It could look out of control. And you can take something that looks frothy and fun and editorial, or it could be a mess. right? And to keep it contained, what I like to do to finish it is spray it and then blow dry it flat, like this. And that gives me a really sort of whimsical feel to it without looking like overprocessed or overworked. Now let me show you the back. What do you guys think of that? I think it looks beautiful, Heidi. You like it?
Too.
Good.
I love it.
So listen, we are done. I would like to thank you for joining us. We are at Facebook Live with Modern Salon at the Wella Studio in Los Angeles. Please visit at Modern Salon for all your education needs. I'm Claudio Lazo. Please hashtag me or follow me at claudiolazo.com. Have a great day.